All right. Hello, everyone. So I'm back. Maybe to give you a quick recap, what happened in the last episode of the Lonely Hours Chronicles. Um, when New Year's Eve came around, I basically said that, hey, I'm gonna change my life. Everything is gonna be different, and I'm just gonna be better. I'm just gonna be extroverted, and I'm gonna get friends and bitches and everything, and it's gonna be fucking fantastic, and everything is gonna be great. Um, so you know, and a part of me was almost a little bit concerned in a way because I thought like, hey, what if I just get my life together now, and everything goes great? Then I will never be able to make these videos again, right? Because these videos, um, you know, I essentially make them when I'm feeling like hot garbage, right? So if I suddenly just make everything right now, then there will be no need for me to make another of these videos, right? Unless I want to become like some fucking motivational coach, like, oh, like with these five tips, I somehow managed to get the girl and shit like that, you know. If it ever comes to that day, then maybe I would do something like that. Some sort of online course how to become like an alpha sigma yogurt male or something, and charge like $100 just for you to enter my Discord or whatever. Maybe if the day ever comes, but that day will probably never come because yeah, I've kind of made this realization that I'm kind of how you say I'm kind of socially retarded, and that is the reason why I'm back because well, who would have thought? My New Year's enthusiasm is kind of starting to dim down a bit because you guys gotta give me some slack, right? It's February now, you know the gyms are getting emptier. People have given up on their optimism, and of course me too. Like talked about how this year is going to be different and all kinds of shit. Um, but yeah, New Year, same me. New Year, all problems, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe just to give it like this video is just kind of like a status quo of like why I feel like I'm falling back into like old behaviors again and stuff like that. So maybe to just kind of if you haven't watched any of the other videos, one of the important things that I talked about was like, hey, on New Year's Eve, I talked, or like I approached a girl and asked for her number. I got dumped, but yeah, maybe she was a lesbian or something. So I already talked about this in my other video. It was like a bit of a weird circumstance, but either way, the point being, I thought like, hey, I fucking hate online dating, passionately, with a passion. I hate online dating, so I thought like, hey, if I just approach girls in real life, then surely there must be a way for me to kind of you know get a girlfriend or something, or not no longer be bitchless because I may not be Brad Pitt or something, but I'm not the worst looking guy. I'm not uh yeah, that's about it. I'm not the worst looking guy. Okay, so um I'm not tall. I'm like for Germany standards, I'm pretty short, I guess. More like average, so you know but that's not the point because I see guys who again, I've already talked about this a lot. I see guys who are like 5 foot tall, ugly as fuck, don't have anything going for them, and they still get more bitches than I do. So that can be it. And my logic was like, hey, I just gotta get out and talk to girls and just ask girls for their number and stuff like that, right? And so I did that at least once. I've completely given up on that since then. Um, yeah, no, we're just yeah, you know how it goes, right? I've did it once, said like, oh, like this year is gonna be different. I'm gonna do it again and again next year, and then yeah, I kind of didn't. But the reason why my optimism has kind of left me in that regard is that I feel like I have autism. Yeah, yeah, but that is not what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say is that I think that even then I was kind of, maybe being a little too optimistic with it because, you know, I thought that if I just approach random girls, some of them will give me the number and then we could kind of start talking and, then it's going to be great because online dating, you don't have like all these inputs, right? You don't hear the person, you don't really, really see the person, you just see like some pictures and, other senses and everything else. And like, you don't talk to them, you only text them or whatever. It's different than meeting someone in real life. So I thought like, hey, if I just meet some girls in real life, then maybe some of them will be interested, and then we can get like something going. And even though I'm not saying that's like completely wrong. What I just kind of realized is that I just kind of yeah, I'm just kind of fucked. I am. I think I'm just kind of screwed because you know I look around and I see all these people, all these girls, or like all these guys going around with girls, and like you know when I'm like at a restaurant, for example, with like my father or my mother or whatever, then it's like I see like these guys who are like hanging out with chicks and stuff, or they're just going for walks outside, and doesn't a lot of them aren't necessarily even couples, a lot of them are just literally just friends. And then I thought like, hey, why am I so socially retarded? Like, why is it that you know there was literally one occasion where I even went for a walk with another girl and talked to another girl directly, and not just not just in a group setting, and not even really addressing like. I think I really only had like one conversation with a like one actual conversation, face to face communication with a girl, and that was from a girl I met on Hinge. And then she dumped me. But it is what it is. The point being, when I went for a walk with this girl and we talked, you know, um, I just for once in my life felt like a normal, adjusted human being, because and that is something that just kind of like really fucking annoys me, that I see like it's not even about getting the girl and stuff like that, even though obviously that's like the goal and stuff, but it's like that's not even the primary concern. I just realized that I'm just so fucking retarded for not even having like not a girlfriend but a girl friend, a female friend, a female companionship, and I feel you know like I said, when I see like these people just walking outside, living like their normal life, I'm like, bro, I don't even really have any friends, and let alone a female friend. Like that is just completely off the table for me, and because of that, my enthusiasm also has kind of dialed down a bit because I feel like if I can't even do that, if I can't even have a like, I don't even fucking know how to talk to females, like to women. I mean, the female specimen. But literally, like, I don't even know like how to talk to them. Like, I tried on like online dating, but I just fucking fail all the time, and they just ghost me, and I don't know. I just like the moment I know that I'm talking like to a woman, a potential mating partner, I guess, or like that's how that's not how I'm trying to see them always, but it's like in my brain I presume that's like how like my biological instincts kick in, right? Because you might say like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but your brain chemistry literally changes if you don't talk to girls. Like that is just, as a guy, you need to talk to girls. That is just, that is literally wired in our brain. And when you don't do that at all, that's when you like get to like 4chan and stuff, where like people are just fucking retards, and I'm one of them. So the thing is, yeah, like I thought, like, how am I even? I feel like I'm trying to run before I can walk. Like, how can I just, like, even if I get like a number from my girl, like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do without? Because then, essentially, like, okay, she has seen me and stuff like that. It may be a bit better than online dating, but it's not that much better because I'm essentially, if I ask for her number, I'm back to square one essentially. Like now I have her number, and now I have to text her about something, and I don't know how to do it. I just can't. I can't, and um I've had like a few matches, like not a lot, but I've had like matches on Hinge because you can commentate on people's profile, and I usually have like some haha funny one liner, and apparently some girls like that. So I had like in the last I don't know, half a year or something, I maybe had like 30 or 40 matches or something like that. Needless to say, they all fucking ghost me. So nothing really comes out of it, except for this one girl where I actually went for a walk with her and talked to her, and the conversation wasn't great, but I felt like it was fine, and I would have been down to like maybe get to know each other a bit more. Obviously, she wasn't, because I was asking like, hey, you maybe after the meeting, I was like, the meeting after I met her, I was like, hey, that was fun. She was like, yeah, totally, and I was like, yeah. So are we gonna do this again sometime, or? And then after like a few months passed, and she was, or like, yeah, I think that was literally like back and forth, and then after a month, she was just out of nowhere, just like this long ass text, like, oh, I just don't really feel like meeting new people right now and stuff like that. The usual bullshit. Um, you know, I was a little bit annoyed, not gonna lie, but at least she gave me the courtesy of telling me that I can fuck off instead of just blocking me or whatever. So I give her credit for that. Mm. And again, it's not like everyone, or like the first person you can talk to is like gonna be the love of your life or whatever. But I thought like, hey, maybe, like, what if, crazy idea? What if we literally just become friends, right? Is that really so out of the out of the picture? Like maybe it is. I don't know. Um, yeah, but the thing is, what I wanted to come back to is like, yeah, apparently I just can't talk to girls because like I kept like the conversation going and stuff, but the fact that like immediately afterwards she was acted like very strange and was and didn't want to talk to me again, tells you that, hey, maybe I am just socially retarded. Like maybe I'm just boring to talk to, or maybe I'm just yeah, because like I said, it's like you know the fact that she just dumped me immediately after tells me like, hey, I just maybe it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I did like passable. I didn't like shit my pants in front of her or something, which is like better than some people do. But like apparently I wasn't interesting enough for her to like even review the option of a friendship, right? Um, which is like whatever. At the end of the day, she's just one girl, and what the like um, I didn't see her as like it's like a soulmate or whatever. Like she seemed like kind of a normie, and I was trying to be also like act normal. Maybe that made me like boring, but she kind of seemed like a bit of a Stacy in a way. A bit of a sounds like this sounds very negative, and is there's like some negative connotation to it, obviously, but like she just seemed like very normal, right? And you know, I'm not normal because at the very least I'm retarded in some way, right? That's got to be it, right? So yeah, I'm just I grew up chronically online, so yeah, I'm just I'm not saying it's like, oh, like look at me, I'm like so cool and different, but I don't fit in with most people, or I can try, but I usually do better with people who are a bit weird, maybe in a sense, you know. And this is not me saying like, oh, I'm so quirky. Like, I would trade this my quirkiness and weirdness for just living a normal life and being happy any second. Like, if you asked me, like I would be like, fuck yeah, man. Like, I don't give a shit about being special or whatever. Like, yeah, special education. You know, like yeah. It's not great. It's really not great. And this, you know, anyway. Point being, I don't even know how to talk to girls. So how am I even like gonna make this work? Like, how am I even gonna figure out the logistics of meeting someone or like dating someone when I can't even figure out how to literally hold up a conversation before getting fucking ghosted? And you know, if it happens a couple of times, you know, a lot of women are also very superficial and stuff like that, yada yada. But if you can't make it work at all, like not even once, you know, it's probably just you in that sense. I would say, yeah, like you know these people they were like oh, like I've had like 10 boyfriends before, but they were all assholes, and you know obviously that doesn't fucking happen. Like if you have like if all people always treated you bad if all the people always treated you badly, then it's probably a you problem and not a they problem, right? And I think I'm the same way in like online dating because like yeah, maybe I'm just dumb. Like maybe I just literally just don't know how to talk to women, and maybe just in general. Like I have like my few friends, but I don't fucking know like like maybe they don't even like me. That's also another thing. Like sometimes I think like they I'm like there because I can be sometimes funny. That is something that I will cling on to. I can be funny, or at least I have like sometimes I have like some good one-liners or whatever. And that's I feel like that's why sometimes I get like invited to stuff from my very close friends. But that's about it. I think maybe I'm just really boring. Maybe I'm just yeah. Maybe most people just don't really care about having me around. You know, I feel like I'm not even that close to like my close friends. Even like my close friends, mm, I barely see. And you know, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think I perform really well at this socializing thing. Then, mm. Even though sometimes I think that when I'm at a social event or something, like I said, like I feel like sometimes even feel like kind of charismatic. Like maybe I'm over my head, but like sometimes I talk to like someone and I feel like, hey, like this seems to go well but like maybe I'm just too autistic to recognize that it's not going well. Because of I've talked to like girls on parties or whatever, and they seem nice, they smile, they talk to me, so it must be still doing something right, right? But yeah, apparently not, because none of them ever care to stick out with me at all, like at all, And I've already talked about the girl on Hinge, but there have also been like a few other instances where yeah, um, something similar happened, or like I felt like, hey, I was cool with this person, or like I was cool with this woman, and then they never really bothered to talk to me again. And so I think like, hey, it's kind of tough, man. Whew. Like, not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. Like I try to tough it out. I try to tough that shit out because I'm a man and that's what men do. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I like the shit is just so exhausting, man. And I don't know. I watched like a video yesterday about like oh, this is how you have to act to be like instant charismatic and this and that, and I looked at the video and was like, yeah, yeah, that totally makes sense and whatever. And then yeah, then I looked at like my phone and saw like the notifications for like Hinge and for like, hey, yeah, yeah, I can totally apply those tips now and get all the girls and stuff. And then I looked at the text that I was supposed to answer, and then my mind just went blank, and I was like, bro, I don't even know what to say, man. Like that shit's just, I don't know. And it's weird because sometimes I really do feel like I have like a bit of charisma, like sometimes I talk to people, or like sometimes I'm like in like a social event and I feel like I'm like kind of the center of attention almost in a way. Maybe this is just me, like, just narcissism and thinking I'm like more important than I actually am, but uh like even though I'm like introverted and stuff, when I'm around people I'm comfortable with, I'm oftentimes the one who dictates the conversation and stuff, right? Um, but yeah, maybe in my head I'm like, hey, look at me, I'm like the star of the show. But maybe what they thinking is like, bro, like this guy is fucking. Can you not shut the fuck up? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's what's going on, and just been too too mesmerized and too you know too captured by my own perception of myself that I don't even recognize that I'm just talking out of my ass, and I'm totally just out of my league, maybe. Mm. But yeah, there was something that I definitely wanted to talk about, but it's hard for me to. Ah, yeah, right. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't. The shit is just getting hard, man. And I'm pretty, you know, I'm just probably gonna tough it out as always. But yeah, it's just hard, and there just seems to be no changing it. Like now I'm getting pessimistic again, but like yeah, it feels like no matter what I do, I always feel like yeah, like what's the point? I'm just I really tried. There were like a few times where I really tried to socialize, but it was always just never. It never felt right, and yeah, that's oh my god, like that was like the what I actually wanted to talk about is like I just think that online dating in general and stuff is like just very unnatural, right? That is like not a hot take, obviously, but I feel like usually how people meet and the natural way to meet and how most people meet, like everyone, like almost everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people met this way. My parents met this way. It's just over social circles and especially over friends. You know someone and they know someone, and if you're like already comfortable with one person and then another person sticks along, then it's just gonna be a whole different dynamic, right? Oh, sorry. I also talked about like, hey, like when I'm like, let's say I'm around three people that I'm very good with or very close to, and there's like two other people that I don't know that also join the conversation. That's like much easier than just talking to five strangers. You know what I mean? Um, and so meeting people over friends is just easier that way, right? Um, and yeah, like I said, some people apparently can do it because I see like all these like happy couples and all these like all these fucking normies, man, going outside with like their friends and their even guys with like female friends, and they don't even looking out for like coochie or whatever. Like they're just sticking around. They probably already have like a girlfriend or two. They're like totally fine already. Like, and I would just be happy if a woman said hello to me. Like that will be enough to make my day. But yeah, that's inequality, right? The some people are so born so rich and they don't even recognize it, right? Um, in all areas of life, I guess some people don't realize how fortunate they are. Um, I certainly don't. In some aspects, like when it comes to that aspect, I'm like as starved as you can be as a human being, which is also why I'm not poor, for example, which is a good thing. I mean, I'm a student, but like I'm not, I didn't grew up poor, for example, which is a good thing. But when you're like so starved for human companionship and just, yeah, y- it doesn't really matter. Like it does, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like or like it, you know, of course, it would suck if I had like money problems as well to worry about. But it's not like I can be like all like happy go lucky, like, hey, look at me, I'm at least I'm not broke, at least I'm not starving. If I have like, other than that, I'm like so fucking lonely and shit. It doesn't really, it makes a difference, but it doesn't really feel like it makes a difference, right? Because um, those are like things that if you have them, you don't think about them. You only think about them when you don't have them. So yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah. So the point is, people meet over friends and stuff like that generally. But if I don't really have that, um, I barely have friends, and those friends who I have are also kind of socially retarded, right? Because they're my friends after all. So at the end of the day, it's just a big paradox, and a big, yeah. And something interesting, something other another thing that I wanted to talk about is like, yeah, like how much longer am I gonna continue doing this shit? Like yeah, I'm not getting younger, and yeah, it's just fucking annoying. But yeah, um, one good thing though that I could mention is that, or one good news that came about in January, or like a week or two ago, is that I will go to Japan. I will study abroad in Japan, which is fucking dope. And I've been trying to get a scholarship for so long, and now it seems like it kind of worked. So that's fucking great. Like I can go to Japan, and yeah, this is why am I mentioning this in this context? It's actually very important for this topic because Japan is kind of like, or like studying abroad in Japan is kind of like my last hope, in the sense that, like, I feel like if I as an exchange student going to a totally different country with like people who are also hopefully share similar interests to me, like, who also maybe like anime, maybe a bit nerdy, that kind of stuff. It's kind of my hope that I go to Japan, and that's there I can meet new people. And that's kind of like my last hope. And I feel you know, like, honest to God, like, uh, I if I don't make it work there, then I think my life is over, in a sense, because I feel like I'm already like in my master's degree, like I'm already like very, like, kind of, I haven't made any friends during my bachelor's degree, and I feel like this is really like my last chance to maybe make friends, just ever, like, because then then I have to get a job, and that kind of stuff. Um, Working culture sets in, and that kind of stuff, and going to Japan. Um, Whoops, sorry about that. My storage space was full, so I had to redo, or not redo, but like restart the recording. So yeah, Japan. You know, I've been trying to get this for 2 years now, I think. Last year I tried, and it didn't really work, and my grades were also not really that good. So I was also like, in a way, I was already like giving up on it.